Hi, this is Ellen from Cambridge Immigration Law. USCIS announced recently that it will be using more positive factors in deciding whether someone will become a U.S. citizen. That sounds great on the surface, like let's talk about great things in someone's life to help them become a U.S. citizen. However, if a person is statutorily eligible for citizenship, USCIS cannot add new requirements to citizenship eligibility, meaning the new factors that can be considered are education history, achievements, volunteerism, work history, regular work history. Those are not factors that the U.S. Congress set out when deciding who is eligible for citizenship. Those are great factors to consider if somebody has any mar on their history, any factor that might make them on the border as in terms of eligible or not. Let me give you an example. So say a person has a crime of moral turpitude, a theft crime from 10 years ago. That person is not ineligible to file for citizenship and is not ineligible to be granted citizenship. But that person's going to need to address that criminal conviction. And the way that we would do it is we would say, look, this is what happened. The person, if they did it, would need to admit it, even if they didn't in criminal court, and they need to explain how they got themselves in that situation. And they would have to say, listen, that was a mistake. And this is who I am. This is who I was before that. Maybe the person was a good person and this was a one-time mistake, or the person had some challenges and wasn't being the best citizen, but since has changed. In that case, we would want to talk about all these factors that USCIS brought up this week, their education history, their rehabilitation in terms of any substance abuse, or long history of no criminal activity, ties to family, ties to volunteers and volunteerism, church, spirituality. Those are great factors to include when someone has a bad mark or multiple bad marks in their history. But those are inappropriate factors to consider if a person does not have any challenge to their to their eligibility for citizenship. So be cautious in your concern for yourself. If you don't have a perfect education history, if you're not volunteering, that doesn't mean you're not eligible for citizenship. We will address those factors with our cases, but if somebody gets denied for one of those factors and no other reason alone, then we will definitely appeal and challenge that denial because it would be unlawful.